Hello. I nearly just said good morning. It's not morning, guys. It's 2 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Being live this late is so weird because it feels so late. Good morning, gang. It might still be morning for you, actually. I love these late lives. You'll get another one on Friday, so that's good. Okay, so today we're going to use color number 374. It's the brown color. And yeah, we're going to get started on this guy. So yesterday I showed you my sample. And we're going to try, okay? So if you do not like the look of this right here, then what you can do is just follow the guidelines and do your satin stitch. And I would do them from here to here. Yeah, then here to here. And then you can do a little outline if you want to do an outline. That's okay too. Good morning, everyone. Everyone's saying good morning. It's so cute. 9 o'clock in Maine. 9 in Maine. Wow. And then drink some water. Don't forget to do that. Jessie's here just to tell you. And then here you can also do your satin stitch there. So if you aren't keen on what we end up doing, okay, then this is what you can do. And what I've done here on the sample, really, are you that thirsty? Is I've drawn some kind of guidelines going this way as well. Just so we can kind of, you know, do a bit more of a guideline grid type situation. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I was thinking of doing a closed buttonhole. Honey, if that's what you want to do, have a go. Try it. If you want to do that, then try. Like, there's so many different stitches that you could use for this. But I feel like I said yesterday, I feel like I just want to do something different. You know? Do you ever feel like that? Just like, I just want to do something different. Just want to try something else. Okay? So, first we're going to do a backstitch and backstitch all of the lines. So at the minute, we're only focusing on the cornucopia part. So not necessarily the braided opening, just this part here. And let's see if we can do some little guidelines in here too, because that might be a little bit helpful. So these ones kind of went all the way around like that. Because if you remember what I said yesterday, some of these will not go all the way around into like the croissant part, you know, this part here. Some of them will stop here. So as you kind of get around, you might only have a couple little guys to go. But I think it might be cool. We'll just see. And you know what? If you don't love it, that's fine. You can do something else. So let's just try. I'm going to do some big satin stitches here. That same color, 374. And we have 3 strands on the needle. Good morning, guys. Oh, lots of people loving the later lives so that they can join. So we went and we got like a measurement of the baby this morning just to see like how big approximately. And they're right in the middle. So there you go. Easy peasy. And then just normal stuff, you know, like blood pressure. Okay, let's just see if I can do some of these real quick. I should have done them before, actually. Or I could do like I did there and just do some, you know? So this is just a regular backstitch is what I'm doing. And I'm just making the lines. I'll look in the book to see what this one is called too. But I have a feeling it's something to do with spiders. Gross. I wish I could actually stitch, but should probably be working. I'll listen and stitch whilst I'm working. Yeah. It must be hard sometimes to do the lives and like want to be stitching, but actually be working. All right. I'm trying to decide if this is going to take ages, if I do the whole thing or if I should just do the whole thing. Because I want to go to the weaving part, you know? I want to do the fun part. This isn't the fun part. But yeah, and then after that, we went to... Where did we go? M&S, and I tried a cronut thing. Yum nut, I think. Yum nut. It was good. We got coffee from Next, because there's a Costa in our Next. So the book that I have, I've only just gotten it recently. I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's just called Embroidery Stitches. And it's by DK. But it has a lot of cross-stitching things and like lace work as well. So yeah, I'm not I wouldn't say it's like the holy grail kind of book, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking here, probably should stop there because these ones right here will all stop, won't they? We won't go around those. On the edge. Because the edge will be the edge when we stop. But yeah, it was given to me as a gift, so I feel like it was a nice sweet gift. But yeah, it's got a lot of lace type things and like open work and cross stitch as well. So it's kind of like a dibble dabble in all of them, if that makes any sense. So I'm just trying to make these quite big because normally they should be like one stitch, but we're doing it a bit differently. So it's just the weave will make a gap between those back stitches, but I do love the ribbed spider weave. It doesn't make a gap between them, actually. At least in the sample it didn't. So hopefully it will work out. We'll just see. There are so many stitch options. I could stay on YouTube forever watching. Oh, I feel that. Honestly. Because I feel like once you start picking like, oh, I could do this, or oh, I could do this, oh, I could do this, then you get like stuck into like, oh, well, what else could I do? Like almost like a information paralysis type thing, you know, when you're like, oh, what if I could do this one? Or what if I did that one? What if I did this one? Try the buttonhole one. It might look really cool. In the sample, where I went over, so there's a stitch in there. You just do one side on one side and then the other one on the other side. And the loop-de-loop covers the stitch, the space in the back stitch. But try. I'd love to see it in the other way, you know? That would be so fun. Every time I look at this, I just think it looks like a croissant. I'm like, it's definitely a croissant. Okay. Now for these, I'm gonna stop this one here and do a little knot. Because I'm gonna get the longer piece, the other side. And I might just do 4 strands, you know, because the 3 strands looked a little bit, not weak, but you know, like when it just, like the lines are a little bit thin, so they didn't really take up that much space. And it is a big space. This is very peaceful. Hello. How are you? Oh gosh. I'm also, you know, you're making me want to make a second hoop. Yes, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Make another one. Okay. Here we go. So I used 3 stitches for that, okay? Just for these lines, and I didn't go all the way around the edge. And the reason for that is as we go loop to loop around all of these, okay, you're gonna end on that line. And then later we can do like a little outline if we really want to, you know? If you want to like make it a bit more apparent. All right, so here's how I did it, okay? I'm gonna zoom it in, take off my sweater. We mean business now. Business. Okay. So for this other one, I started as close as I could to here, and then I'll just do all of these ones later because I want it to be a continuous loop. So I'm gonna start right here, okay? So we're gonna come up from the back. Getting serious, definitely getting serious. Okay, so you're gonna go under the 1. Okay. And then the next one, you're gonna go under both of these, 1 and 2. Okay. And then you're gonna go back to the right side. Where are you? I can't find you. I can't find you. And go under the next 2. So we can also break this down into like, because I'm kind of combining 2 steps here. Okay, so what you can do here, if you want to do like 1, 1, 1, like do each one individually. So you're gonna go over the 1, okay, then under the next one. And I like to go to the right of it. Can you guys see that clearly? I like to go to the right of it. It's just a little bit quicker if you do them 2 at a time. Do you know what I mean? Because you can kind of combine 2 of the steps at once. But that's okay. Let's just go 1 by 1. Okay? So again, we go under this one. Yeah, and then to the right of it. Goodness. Quite a long piece there. Okay, so what you end up with are these loops that go around and circle each of the stitches that we've done for like the template. Okay? Like the guideline stitches. I've got to turn it around, guys, sorry. I can't. So we go under this one. And then under it again to the right of it. Oh, don't snag any of your other stitches. And then under. Let me know if this is making sense, okay? And if you can see it clearly. Because I know that these ones get a little bit close together, especially towards like the end of the croissant part. I know I keep calling it a croissant, but every time I look at it, I just think croissant. I want croissant. The cornucopia part, all right? Now, we're not pulling these super, super tight. You don't want them to be like ridiculously loose, okay? But we're not pulling them super tight because we don't want to move the lines up or down, okay? We're just trying to kind of make our thread wrap around each one. So when I do them two at a time, I just kind of combine two of the steps. Do you know what I mean? So instead of doing each one individually, I go under both of them at the same time. Yeah? No, I want a croissant. Is that a craving? We actually just had lunch, so like I'm not hungry at all. But every time I look at this, I'm like, oh my gosh, a croissant sounds so good. Should we get croissants? So remember, we're not going through the threads, we're just going underneath of them. So this is a weaving technique. And then when you get all the way to the tip, we're going to put our needle right back down, and that's the end of that row. Make sure you go under the next one too, or else that one will be left out. Let me know if it's making sense, and let me know that you get it, okay? So if you're like, Tori, I do not understand this, just let me know, okay? So the other thing I did is I kind of took the eye of my needle and shimmied these over as far as they could go, really. Okay? And then we start again. We go back to the beginning. So is it going to take some time? Yes. I'm really sorry. So they're meant to be quite close together. So in the end, it makes like a solid, there we go, like a solid thing, okay? So all the stitches will be nice and close. So it just depends if you want to take the time and do that. Take a minute. Yeah, it might take a minute. Okay, so let's do the next one. And for this, I'm just going to go straight to the beginning. Normally, I would say, like, weave your stitches under, but it's really just a short little area there. So you should be okay. Okay, the other thing you could do, if you don't want them to be solid, or you don't mind that they're not solid, is you could space them out a little bit. So you could almost do one for every single thing that we've done here, you know? But I want to cover up these lines here, like that. So one way you could do that, if you do not want to take the time and do this for every single one, meaning like, 50 rows of it, what you could do is do a whipped backstitch first. So just like we did for these leaves here, you're going to whip it, okay, and cover up all of these stitch lines, stitch ditches, I suppose. Okay, so you'll cover up all of those with your whipped backstitch. And then when you go to do the one that's like here, 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 if you do not want to have a solid cornucopia, okay, are you with me? Then that could work too. All right. Now, if this is not for you, that is okay. Don't worry about it. There's no harm done. All right. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, no one did this, because it's a lot of work. It really is. But it's just an option. It's just something else that you can do. Okay. So the second row, you're going to squeeze between the first and the second. I think it's going to look really cool though when it's all done. So I'm going to try my best to finish this. I've got a custom hoop to do too. And this is 4 strands, so it looks a little bit thicker than the 3 strands. And remember, you're going to go between those 2 stitches. I love learning new stitches each stitch along. Me too. You know, I do try and make it so that, I know I've said it like all week, but I do try and make it so that you like learn something new each time. Because although it's really nice to follow along, I know some of you who have done every single stitch along, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, we know this. We've done this like every single time. But sometimes I always try and like find a new tip or trick or find something a little interesting. Find a new stitch, find something, you know? Because then it makes it like really interesting even for the people who've done them all. Wait, is it 3 strands or 4? I heard 3, but I'm a lousy listener. I did 3 strands for the back stitches, and I did 4 for the weaving part. Because the 3 looked a little, I keep saying weak, but I don't really mean weak. It just looked a little sparse, like a little thin. So I thought, you know what, let's just add 1 more and see how that looks. Good morning from Colorado. Good morning. Yeah, we got like all of our stuff done today. David needed new shoes as well. Because he literally like walked like a hole in them. Did I forget to wrap this one? I did. That's what you get. That's what you get for not paying attention. But also, this is one of those where you need to really turn your hoop. So I might have to give up on this hoop stand. It's taking me forever. Yeah, it's easier if you turn your hoop because then you can get a really nice angle. I'm in Colorado too. Oh! I get to watch live. I'm in Nashville. I think Jessica's also in Nashville. I don't know if she's here anymore, though. That's the only thing I don't love about the lives is that you can always see people come, but you never know when they go. So sometimes I'm like, oh, if you're still here, can you? No? Okay, you're gone. Bye. Like, oh, all right. Good. And back down. Okay. It'll go a lot quicker when we don't have to go through all of them. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. So we're at the first one where we have a little stitch in the middle here. Okay. Oh, I think I missed a question. DM me a pic. Did I miss something? Oh. Sorry. I know I'm making the thing. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're having their own chat. Jessica is in Nashville. Yes, she's how I found you. Hello. So here we're at the first one where you get the stitch here. Okay, so I've gone into the next stitch for this one. And for this next one, I'm going to go through the old stitch. Okay, so the stitch, I don't know what to call it. The stitch hole is here. So I'm going to put one on one side, and then when I go under the next one here to go to the next one. I'm going to go into the other stitch. The stitch ditch. What am I like? And then that will help to cover that up when we're all done. Hopefully. What is this stitch called? It's from the book, and I believe it's like the woven it's a woven stitch. Woven spider web. It's the ribbed web instead of the woven spider web. It's the ribbed web. So very similar, just different. Instead of going over and under on top, we're actually wrapping our stitches with the thread as we're weaving, as we're stitching. Okay, so let's see here. So all these can kind of shimmy over, these ones, and these ones here can shimmy that way. And then hopefully they'll line up and they won't actually expose those extra, the little back stitches that we did. Hopefully. I've never done the stitch before. I'm nervous. Do you know what? I've never done the stitch before either. So that makes two of us. But that's what we do. We try new things. Yeah, I like teaching stitches that I haven't taught before. I think it's quite fun because it makes me feel like we're getting some new stuff, new material. Hello. Can't wait to learn this stitch. Okay, so there's obviously no space here for this next one, so we're just going to go down at the end. Okay, and that's okay. Hopefully you can see that. So this row here was all taken up, so I just put my needle down. That's all right. And let's do some more. Where are we? Where are we? Here we go. I love how it looks. I think it looks so fun. The only thing I don't like is how you have to concentrate. How you have to concentrate so much on it. So the first one, you just go around 1. The second one, you go around 2. This is like the quicker way, you know. I love this community you've created. You're such a patient teacher. Oh, I guess that's what is the result of teaching a bunch of 4-year-old Chinese kids all their colors for weeks and weeks and weeks. Because I used to be an art teacher in China, and yeah, some of the kids, it's not that they weren't smart, it's just that they didn't know English. So sometimes you'd have to sit there and be like, it's red. And they'd be like, what? And you'd be like, it's red. You can't be mad at them because, like, they know in their own language. Do you know what I mean? Hoop stand required for this stitch. See, I would say opposite. I would say no. I'm dying to take this off and just turn my hoop round and round and round because, yeah, I'm not loving the hoop stand with this. It's taking forever. When I did the sample, I think I did like 3 or 4 rows and like super quick. Oh, that should have been on the other side so I could close the gap, you know, mind the gap. So let's just take that one out, because practice what you preach, right? If it bothers you, take it out. Please tell me how to hold the hoop and use both hands. Normally I put the hoop down. Yeah, because for this, you don't need to hold the hoop at all. You can put it on your lap. You can put it on the table. So normally I'll put the hoop down and do whatever I have to do with it, and then just pick it up in the end when I have to do the end part. Sometimes I'll put it between my knees, hold it between my knees. Sometimes I'll just put it on the edge of a table so that it's just a little bit like supported, you know, just the little edge. But like, you do you. If you feel like you need to use a hoop stand, then use it. You know? It's not me to tell you how to stitch. You know what I mean? But I feel like you'll find the way that you like to do it on your own. Does that make sense? You know, try it with a hoop stand. And if you find that you would like to turn it and turn it and turn it, then turn your hoop stand. And if that works for you, it works for you. But I found that when I did the sample, it was so much easier to just turn my hoop because of the way that I know it's like not even on the screen right now. I know. Would making the lines a couching stitch make them closer? If you wanted to, you could do all of your little couching stitches together. I've just been shimming them over. So like the little gaps don't really bother me that much because I know that I can shimmy these ones over and then shimmy these ones over. I think I've gone through the thread there, which is why that's not moving. I like through the stitch. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's gonna look really good. I think it'll look nice. Okay, so now we're on to this one. Let's do one of these. And for these little ones here, you can do the exact same thing. Wrap it. So quiet. David's gone upstairs to do some work. Jessie just ate all her food, which is probably why she just had a big drink. I did miss a comment about, I think it was how did I get my name, the Barmy Fox. And basically, this is going to be silly, but I was taking a long bath and I was like, I need to think of a name for this blog. And this was like in 2014. So I'm going to start this blog. I'm going to start a new blog. And I want it to be like something a bit clever, something a bit curious, because being an art teacher, I never do the same two things in a day. You know, we always have different things that we're doing. And even like from 9 to 10, we might be doing painting. And then from 10 to 11, we might be doing collage. So we always have, you know, a bunch of different things that we've got going on with art. And yeah, so I said I wanted something that was like curious, like a little bit crazy, because everyone's like, how do you do that? I would never think to do that, or I would never want to do that. And yeah, Barmy is like a fun kind of crazy. Like a, you know, if you say that you're Barmy, then you're just like a little bit wild, a little bit, you know? Do you know what I'm saying? And then I thought, I'm moving to England, and foxes are kind of like that, you know, like they're quite curious and clever. And I thought, that's perfect, the Barmy fox. So that's what I landed on. I know it sounds really silly now because I've had it for so long. And I feel like people are like, oh, that's a bit anticlimactic. But yeah, I was just like writing down all the names and everything, and like what should I make, and like what should I, the fox lady. As long as it's not the foxy lady. And yeah, and I was like, what about something like this? And I like explained it to David, and he was like, oh, that's so good, because like you are always trying new things and you're always like doing different stuff. And actually I started my business making handbags. So I made faux leather handbags that if you go all the way back, like all the way back, like you got to scroll deep, you know what I mean? Like do like a deep like stalker scroll. You'll see some of the stuff I used to make. So I used to do handbags. I used to do like a box of the month type thing. And every month had a different theme to it. And I do like 3 to 5 handmade things. So you'd get a little zipper pouch each month, or something else that was like stitched but made of cloth. So like face wipes. I did like organic face wipes with bamboo toweling, which I actually still use, which I still use them now. I've done like sunglass cases, like fabric sunglasses cases. I've done, oh wow, I did an embroidery hoop for everyone who purchased the box 1 month. And then also I did like handmade washi tapes. Like I made all kinds of stuff. But then it was getting to the point where I was literally making like 40 bags a month. And like I would do like a set of 3 face wipes. And then I'd have to make 3 times 40 of those. And it was getting to be so much work. Like so much work. Because you got 3 to 5 items. So you'd get like personalized something, or like little cupcake toppers, or something made of felt, or handmade washi tapes, and they'd all have a different theme. It was so much fun, but oh my gosh, it was a lot. So I had to stop it in the end. And that's when the embroidery started taking off a bit more. So I was like, well, actually, I can just do the embroidery and then like not do the subscription box. So I started doing that, and then, yeah, and then it just kind of like just kept going with like more different stuff. So kind of just, and I started doing patterns because this lady kept, the reason I do patterns is because this lady kept stealing my embroidery, and she just kept stealing it. And I thought, this is so rude. And every time I would go, it's, you know, this is not cool. And she'd go, well, it's on the internet, so why not? And I'm like, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean that you can take it. Like, what are you doing? She just didn't get it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like killing me. So finally I was like, right, I'm making a pattern. So I made the pattern, and I was like, you can buy the pattern and you can stitch it up yourself. There you go. She never bought it. Yeah, it's just, that was quite frustrating. But hey, you live and you learn. And you know what? People buy patterns all the time now. So I can't actually say that it was like a bad thing, because it really pushed me to get all my patterns sorted out. And, you know, and to like try and make more things. And like, then I started making kits, embroidery kits, which a lot of you have probably purchased. Thank you. I love you. Yeah, so it just kind of like, I don't know, super long story. Sorry. But yeah, it just kind of like escalated from there, really. And I felt like maybe I should rebrand as something else. Like maybe I should do something like make a different name. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe I should just use my name, or maybe I should just not do the Mommy Fox anymore. Like maybe it's a bit silly, or maybe it's a bit stupid, or maybe people don't get it, or whatever. And I just never did. I just thought, you know what? It kind of is still, it's still me. It's still like, you know, I almost want to do one like right in the middle as like a, you know what I mean? I just want to like do one in the middle. Let's just like do one here. Are you going to take a break when the baby fox is born? A little bit. So I'll probably keep all of the physical products and like unlist them so that I don't have to worry about shipping or anything like that for a while. But I'm going to keep the pattern of the month, which is a digital subscription, and I'm going to keep the stick and stitch, which is a physical product, I know, but that's quite easy. And then David can take it to the post office. We love the name. Oh, that's so sweet. You guys are so sweet, honestly. But yeah, I just like ended up like kind of sticking like more, you know, than I thought. So it's way better if you do them all in a row the other way, because this is turning into a bit of a disaster. Nothing a little shimmy of the needle can't fix. But yeah, I just kind of like stuck, really. And like I've always loved foxes anyway, so it's not like it's like super like not me, you know? Someone's house or car alarm is going off. That's always fun to listen to that. I just saw the stitch for the first time 3 days ago. Funny that it would show up in our Stitchalong. Oh, where did you see it? That's so interesting. I love stuff like that, though. Whenever I find a new stitch or a new thing, I always like tend to see it everywhere. And I'm always like, oh my gosh, they've done that too. Oh my gosh, they've done that too. I like that, though. Yeah, where did you see it? That's super fun. And you know what? I love it when people use the stitches like in different ways. It'll be so cool. goes way faster when there's not so many loop-de-loops to do, you know? It was a pattern for a Christmas tree, a combo of this stitch and wagon wheel roses filling up the whole tree. I bet you it was so pretty. I love that. I love the idea of that. I just get really excited about embroidery. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I said it before, but like every single time that you guys tag me, I'm like, oh, look how beautiful it is. David's like, yeah, looks good. I'm like, no, but they've never stitched before and look how great it is. And he's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, you said that. Looks really great. I'm like, no, but look. He loves your guys' stuff. Whenever I show him, he's like, wow, look how good that is. Like, genuine. He does really like it. And then for the Mel gets it. She says, same. It's hard to explain how much I love it. And like, genuinely, I think that there's, yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's like anyone where I'm like, ew. Not embroidery artists, but like any stitches or any like patterns or any, like genuinely, I don't think there's any time where I've like been like, that doesn't look nice. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Not from like a gossipy, snarky level, but as like a, like genuinely, I just feel like everyone's just doing like such amazing things in embroidery. And it's so cool to see some of like the same stitches and the same things. Like we're all using pretty much the same stitches, you know? But they all turn out so different. I just think that's so amazing. This is probably going to be the last one for this piece of thread, by the way. So real quick, before we run out of time, because it's been 48 minutes, for the outside here, oh, that's right, the Bullion Knot, which looks like a bug. I do not like that one. I hate that one. Don't like it. Oh, gosh, that like genuinely gives me the heebie-jeebies. I do not like that stitch. So you're right. You're completely right. So real quick for this one, I'm going to keep going on this. But for this outside one, my vision, okay, is just a regular satin stitch for all of this. And then if you want to, you can even outline each one of these. I probably wouldn't do a whipped back stitch because we've got so much going on already, but I would do like a stem stitch, but do it like with more strands. So maybe 3 or 4 strands here. Just a regular, okay, parallel satin stitch. I'm just doing the lines so that you see what I mean. This is kind of how I would do it. And then don't forget these ones, and don't forget this one, because there is a little bit there. So you've got a wee one there, a wee one there, and then they go all the way around. So again, 3 or 4 strands here, and then I would probably do 4 or even 6 strands for an outline if you want it to really stand out. You can also do a darker color for an outline not that color. If you want to have like a boom, you know, let it have its moment. Or you could even use one of the lighter colors and do an outline if that suits your fancy. So that's what I would do. And then the same with outline for going around each one of these. Okay. And maybe even in here as well. This feels so cool. It really does. I kind of want to go live again later, but David's doing all his work. He's probably like, what are you doing down there? I will finish this today though. Oh, finally the house alarm is gone. So this is the only bad part about doing some, okay? And working towards it. Because what I've done is mix that up. Pookie will love the texture. Yes. Gosh, those cats. Kitty cats. Oh, did you guys see the pumpkin carving contest? So Quinn and I made the kitty cat one. And she decided that she didn't like any of the templates that were offered in the kit. And instead, she was going to draw her own. So that was ours. And the witch on the broom was Ian's, which is David's brother. There we go. I still have so many more to go in here. I was looking a bit of a mess, but it's going to look better when it's finished, I promise. Let me do the knot on the back. So yeah, and then David's was the scary face one. And he was like, I'm going to lose. I was like, maybe not. But everyone picked the witch on a broom, which was the template that came with the kit. I was like, no. We drew ours from hand. She's only 5. She's only 5 years old, guys. Come on. And she kept going, do you know what's the votes? What's the number of votes? I was like, oh, honey. And every time she'd be like, that's not fair because he used the template. All right. I'm going to end it there and I'm going to go and work on this a little bit more. I also need to reply to the little addition to the kits and do that. I know, I was like, well, come on. I was like, we didn't give any context for it, okay? So they don't know who made which one, so it's all fair. Because if we would have said that you made the kitty cat one, then maybe people would have voted for that one, you know, just to like give you some votes. So you have to be fair about it. She's like, I know, but it's just not fair because he used a template. Like, okay, all right. I do get that. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's zoom out and see how it looks. I promise you it's going to look way better than this when it's all done. Like I said, it looks a bit messy because I started over here. I should have just kept going. So don't do what I did, all right? But yeah, I can't wait to see how these look. I hope that they're good. I have faith in you. I have faith that you can do it. Honestly, I have faith that you can do it. So be sure to tag me at the Barmy Fox and tag at Anchor Crafting. And use the hashtag the Barmy Fox SAL, Anchor Crafts, Anchor Crafting, and Anchor Threads. Tomorrow is Details Day. So we will do French knots first, and I'll teach you my method of learning French knots, which is the grid method. It's like my favorite way to learn, and I don't know anyone else who teaches it like this. I've taught it like this for like 5 years now. It's like perfect. And we'll also fill in the things that we haven't filled in yet. So it's not necessarily a day where you catch up on this color number was 374, the light brown. So it's not necessarily a day where you catch up on the things that you haven't done, okay? Details Day is adding details on top of the things that we've done. Meaning if you wanted to, because we have to fill in the stems here, yeah? This one, the French knots in here. If you want to do French knots in between, if you want to add some little jazzy bits, okay? French knots in here. So not necessarily a catch-up day. It's a details day. But you don't have to have the whole hoop finished before tomorrow. All right? So don't go home and start like stitching furiously. Don't do that. All right? If you're not done, you're not done. It's fine. We're just going to do the French knots and then fill in these guys, and I'll show you a couple other little things as well. So don't stress out. I'm going to try and stitch up the cornucopia just so we know what it looks like, because I feel like I've put you off. Focus on that part. So yeah, enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right? Bye.